Hey, it's Fun Friday with the Real Raw role play at Unblinded. Vivian, what's up?
Woo! I heard today that you said competition is to conspire the origin together.
Yes, we are conspiring together in the Real Raw role play, which is where Vivian and everyone, including our amazing participants and judges, we are demonstrating that influence is a superpower. At Unblinded, we have it here to use with integrity, of course, and that you can get it here and launch forward your money, time, and magic, right? That's what's up. So Vivian, we have two participants, three judges. Let's introduce these amazing participants.
I'm so excited. It's a big Tony Robbins family. We have Deepak Suthar, a family man who went to a Tony Robbins event and was introduced to and opened an osteopath strong in Austin, Texas, of which he's passionate about. That's our first contestant.
What's up, Deepak?
What's up, brother man? Ready to compete.
I heard that you have it like ready, and Deepak is a dear friend, one of my first people that I met through the Platinum Partnership and Tony Robbins. And in fact, Deepak, because I've never said it before, I've been waiting for you to be on the Real Raw. That very night, that first night in San Diego, you chastised me just a little bit for talking work stuff and said, that's not what we do here, man. We just like kind of hang out. And that's long before you ever heard of heroic, unique identity, but love you, brother. So, do you remember that night?
I remember many nights, including the night in the Vegas hotel room, but there wasn't a tiger, so I'm a little bit sad about that. But
no,
blessed to have met you though at that time. It was
love
awesome.
You were my big brother at that point, so thank you very much, Deepak. Leading the way and give me guidance. Thank you. So, Vivian, who else we got?
We have Brad Himel. He's director of Love One, Love All, an apparel company focused on suicide prevention. He is from the Tony Sphere. There have been some incredibly emotional interventions in 2019 at Date with Destiny. And as far as his resilience is concerned, he just can pick up the phone and call just about anyone. He boasts that. He says there's no such thing as a closed door in his universe.
Yes, and this is the Dennis Rodman of selling. Dear friends, like Rockstar at the Unblinded immersion in January, Rockstar all over Date with Destiny with his incredible dad, Marv. Brad, what's up, brother?
Not much. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So what is present for you, Brad?
You look great. You look beautiful on this Zoom call, Sean.
Well, you sound beautiful, Brad. Can't see you. Thank you. And Brad, you always sound beautiful, brother. Yeah, like how
I miss your energy.
Yeah, I miss yours, brother. So like, don't be a stranger. Welcome back to the Real Raw. Super excited to have you here.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
We're gonna have some fun, Brad, eh?
I'm gonna get about 45 rebounds and not score any points.
And Deepak's looking to be dropping threes, right, from like 5 feet behind the 3-point line, right?
Let's
Making
do
30
it.
footers, right? So, and then we have Vivian with some incredible judges for today. Who we got?
Well, we have Jim Kirkos. He's the president and CEO of the Meadowlands Chamber of Commerce in New Jersey.
Jim Kirkos, dear friend, incredible business leader. He's the person that's like the right guard of the offensive line. That's a 15-year All-Pro, first ballot Hall of Famer, like opens the holes, leads with love and humility, makes it happen. Jim, how are you, sir?
Thanks so much, Sean. I love you for those beautiful words all the time. And every time I am on a call with you, I am motivated and energized, my friend. So good to be with everybody today.
Yeah, great to be with you too, Jim. Thanks. Vivian?
We also have Eric Vincent. He's going to fill us in.
Hey guys, Eric Vincent from Fort Myers. I work at Global Solutions Electronics Company. I'm the COO down here in sunny Fort Myers.
Awesome. Well, it's an absolute pleasure, and any friend of Scott's is a friend of ours in the general vicinity of Milo and Michelle Seidel of Clickster's fame and other success. So welcome, Eric.
Thanks.
And so you work with Scott Matthew Smith, who's here too. He's the CEO and team leader of Global Solutions Electronic Company, of which Eric works with. Also a Tony Robbins Platinum partner. He's a veteran, and he served in the busiest aviation wing of the U.S. Coast Guard, stationed in Clearwater, Florida.
Scott, welcome, and always thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you very much.
We are not here without people like yourself who have done the incredible and protected our freedom. So thank you.
my honor. That was a few days ago and a few gray hairs ago, but it's quite an honor to be here. And anything I can do to help you guys, I'm in.
Yeah. Hey, Scott, just out of curiosity, what did you hear about like the Real Raw? Like, what is it to you, and what's your perspective on it?
A Shark Tank meets video negotiation. So anything with regards to negotiation is huge for me. I remember when we were all over in south of France a year or two ago with what's the guy's name?
Robert Cialdini?
Dr. Robert Cialdini. He had a huge impact on me. Outstanding. Anything negotiation is a big passion of mine personally. So that's what turns me on to this particular format.
Yeah, well, thanks, brother. And Robert Cialdini is one of Rob Gill's initial teaching mentors. And
Yes.
Rob would like rattle off the 6 tools of persuasion: authority, social proof, commitment and consistency, etc. So welcome.
My honor. Thanks.
Awesome. So we also have Adam Gugino here, and do we have Fernando as well, or just Adam for this moment?
Seems like Adam.
Yeah. Hey, Adam, how are you, brother?
I am fantastic. Excited to be here with these fine gentlemen going head to head for sure.
So we call Adam the $300 to $700 million man. Not many people can say, Adam, that they joined a company at $3 million and built a 0 to 500 person team, like off of metal tables and folding chairs in 3.5 years to go to $700 million, brother. And not only that, you're a co-founder of Unblinded. And before all that, you're also the #1 inside salesperson for one of the most name brand companies in the world across the country. So, brother, I think you know a thing or two about influence, and welcome.
Welcome. And the two that are going head to head, I have a very good relationship with both of them. I can't wait to watch.
Yeah. So
You didn't call me back last night, Adam.
Because he didn't want you to be cheating. So Dennis Rodman, the Dennis Rodman of sales, Brad Himel, Deepak, as well as our amazing, incredible judges, Eric, Jim, and Scott. We have a challenge. Adam is like so militantly insane about judging. His deep request, please, judges, is that your scores are in and you do not influence each other. That the scores are in, you do not influence each other, because this is like the integrity of this system. An integrity-based human influence is at Adam Gugino's heart. Adam, am I exaggerating, bro?
No, integrity-based human influence exposes the truth. So it's got to be truthful, and I'm confident that the judges are going to rate fairly, and we're going to see the winner, the true winner, come out of this one today.
All right, amazing. So let's go. 3-point shooting, elbows flying, rebounder extraordinaire, blood, outside move. What's happening?
Can I just say it's really good to see that Adam finally decided to do laundry.
Brad gets coming out, throwing elbows right off the bat. Elbows right off the bat.
Right.
Vivian, I just know this. Thank God that you're here, because there's way too much testosterone flying around this place. So thank God you're here to like balance and rescue. Thank you.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready to duke it out with you guys. Let's do this.
Let's go. So here's what's going on. We have 2 rounds, Deepak and Brad. In the first round, judges, you're scoring on, it's not getting to yes. It's not even talking about themselves. Round 1 is all about how much Brad and Deepak open Vivian's listening, like open the listening of Vivian and access a point of pain. So it's simply, how much does Vivian see her future in listening to these people, feel, I see you, I hear you, what you say matters to me, as Oprah said, is why she held the microphone for 30,000 people, have some of Vivian's pain accessed. So in round 2, then they deliver their heroic, unique identities, solving for pain, moving into agreement formation, all rooted in integrity. And each of you, Brad, Deepak, have the opportunity to select who Vivian is and what you'd like to go from hello to yes with. You don't have to tell us about the yes, because in round 1, which way you're going doesn't matter at all. It's how much Vivian's listening, present, pain accessed. Round 2 is how you tie it all together. And we'll score a 3-minute break. It's one 6-minute conversation broken into a round 1, round 2. 3 minutes round 1, 3 minutes round 2. Vivian will be like, hey, I got to grab a phone call in 3 minutes and we can continue the second half in a moment. Right? So that's like the break point. So Deepak, you are in Texas. Brad, you're in Florida. Yes?
Yes.
Geography check. I think Texas is further than Florida. Brad, would you agree with that?
Further? What do you mean?
Is it further geographically away from New Jersey?
Oh, I don't know. Because you got one going at one angle and then you got one going at a different angle. So
I'm pretty confident. Deepak, what do you think? Texas is further than Florida. Is that seriously?
Nice try, Brad.
I would agree. I think Texas is a little bit further. Yeah.
So note to file, we don't want Dennis Rodman on our geography test, but we do want him solid, right? Like, so it's all good. So
what's the instrument we used in elementary school that I want to get one of those out and make sure that you guys are correct, please.
So can we fact check this, Adam, while you're there, fact checking the miles of Texas versus Florida? Brad, I unfortunately think the mileage is going to be dramatically different, but we'll see. So yes, Deepak, you're coming from further away. So is it a 1 or 2? I have under the table.
I'm going to go for 2.
2 it is. Deepak has been studying like the mentalist, coming up with numbers. He wins the toss. Would you like to go first in round 1 and maintain your choice in round 2, or go second in round 1 and have Brad having choice in round 2?
I'll go first. Let's roll.
All right. First keeps the choice. Deepak has strategized this game like a complete rock star. I sense it. My level 5 listing says he is dialed in. So Deepak, who is Vivian?
Vivian is Sean Callagy.
Whoa, dude!
There's the bomb.
You have so much faith in me. Woo!
Brad, Deepak, judges, Deepak is dropping some like insane Jedi mind trick stuff like all over the place. Disruption, scatomas everywhere. Vivian, Deepak's on the clock. 3 minutes.
I'm actually a big fan of your style, Deepak.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
All right, I'm putting the clock on, Deepak.
All right.
So take us in, Vivian.
Ready.
Hey, Sean. Thanks for pinging me to want to know more about fitness stuff. I know you've only got a couple of minutes, and I know you could probably be charging $5,000 an hour. So I'm not going to waste your time. So let's drop in. Cool.
Cool.
All right. So tell me, I keep hearing about you as an athlete as a kid, right? And how much being in peak physical performance meant to your success. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I grew up with a family and loved playing baseball, and we had to, for me, before I became blind, I had to make sure that everything that I did was always, done right, because when I started to lose my vision, then I had to make sure that I had a winning game and plan, not just in sports but also mentally. So I needed to always be physically fit.
Got it. Yeah, I can imagine. You're still crushing it today. Unblinded is on fire. And just let me tell you, I'm so excited about this. It makes my heart race, the possibilities of what's going on right now. So with that, tell me how you're managing your physical fitness today? Because I imagine you're being pulled in a million different directions. How do you manage it?
Yeah, I got to tell you, it isn't easy, but I wake up early, and I'm a firm believer of getting into the ocean. I live right by the ocean, so I go in the water every morning. And as you know, like Tony Robbins, he does that. He likes to be in that peak performance state. I like to deliver. I like to be on point. So I'm always ready.
Awesome. Tell me, why is that important to you?
I have a mission here that I have to create. I have my legacy, and I believe that I'm not going to lose this opportunity to make sure that everybody is unblinded. So having created this and having a team of people that rely on me, that I rely on as well, I need to be in my best peak performance at all times.
So let's fast forward a year from now. Unblinded has exploded. It's global.
I got to hop on a call in about, 45 seconds.
Yeah. So Unblinded has exploded. It's global. What condition do you need to be in at that point? Tell me.
Well, obviously, it has to run, and we are going to have a lot of systems in place. But right now I'm just focused on this moment. And in this moment, everything is going as well as can be for what we can say. We just need to focus on the manpower that I have right now.
Awesome. So what's working to keep you physically fit right now?
Oh, I meditate. I just had John Amaral, help me with some deeper form of meditation, which goes into out there into the universe, which is amazing. But I'm always exploring new options, and definitely swimming. And I just got a tandem bike with my girlfriend Mona, so I physically fit all the time.
That's sweet. So you talked about your legacy. So tell me, if you have your life's legacy on the line, what happens if your peak performance, your physical peak performance starts to slide?
I gotta go right now, dear. Thank you, though.
We can pick it up right there. Great job, Deepak. Excellent job, round one. Okay. Deepak, what's present for you, brother?
I ran out of time.
Okay, you did a great job. Great job. By the way, that tandem bicycle is no longer Mona's friend, because it is, it was an interesting incident, which we will talk about on a live video, but I will tease that and seed that. So that is not her best friend anymore. So
how was my Shawnness?
I'm sorry?
How was my Shawnness?
Your Shawnness was amazing. I am super grateful. And Deepak, thank you for those very kind words. It was outstanding. So Deepak, I thought you did a fantastic job, very much in the formula, super congruent. One thought is, when I know time was a factor, when you asked about the condition, I just repeat the question because Vivian sort of misheard it and she talked more about the company. I go, no, but for you, like, it would be a beautiful pivot. Sometimes when we don't have the question answer that we're asking, an outstanding way is to shift tonality down. This is, we're talking 9.999 level approaches. Shift our tonality down into, no, Sean, but you, what's your physical condition need to be in a year to do all this? You feel that, Deepak?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that downshift, and it's like, oh, like it takes the person to that depth, so it immediately deepens rapport. So sometimes when the question kind of goes, the answer is not like the question we asked, it's a beautiful way to really assert loving, empathetic acceleration into depth of rapport building. Good, but outstanding job, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Brad, are you ready to roll?
I am.
Elbows flying. Vivian,
I'm ready to fight.
Let's go. Vivian, you're up. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Yes, you're right. Who is Vivian, Brad?
That's right.
Is there any reason she's not allowed to be herself?
She can absolutely be herself, brother.
Great.
All right, Vivian, roll it.
Okay, then. It was nice to be a guy for a second, though. Hi, Brad.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about you. We haven't got to know each other intimately, but I'd love to get to figure out. It seems like you've had a lot of success in your life, so I'd love to know about where your path has been, where you've gone, and what you're excited about. Where did it all kind of start for you?
Where do we begin, right? Right now, I'm having conversations with people and lining up my next guests. I interview people who have persevered, overcome, and are living their best lives now and have a beautiful story to share with the world, so that people can have a roadmap as to what to do with their lives and never feel alone. So I call that dishing it. I dish them, my guests, beautiful foods that celebrate their cultural background or something that makes them feel at home. Where I began was, poor girl from Dominican Republic, immigrant who came here when I was about a month old, but I've moved 23 times to date, and graduated from Brooklyn College with a degree in broadcasting, but I decided I want to go into acting instead. And so I did, and was on Howard Stern, believe it or not, of all things, at one point, mostly to promote my TV show that I was hosting, Moral Court, nationally syndicated, with TMZ's Harvey Levin, who trained me for that role. You know him. I was on Days of Our Lives. I did a little cameo on 24. And that's, the makeup of it. In the last 10 years, I spent as a presenter for the auto show. So I traveled a lot around the country, and I did that for Infiniti and for GMC.
That's incredible. That is a phenomenal story. Where, if you don't mind going back a little bit, you said a poor girl from the Dominican Republic. How did you overcome that? What did you have to go through? That just seems amazing that you've accomplished so much so quickly coming from that background. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's something, right? You never knew what was going to happen next. A lot of instability. I have to say that I always worked. When I was 16, I worked at one of the CD stores when they had that going on. And I know like in about a minute, I'm going to have to go take this. I got to go on a Zoom call in about a minute that I'm hosting.
Understandable, yeah.
And so I started there. So I've always been go-getting. I've always taken public transportation. So I didn't have to spend money in a car. I learned to drive at 26, believe it or not, in California when I got my gig. And that was nerve-wracking. First time driving in California. I worked at the Barbizon Hotel. And I was a front desk clerk. Actually, it's probably a fancy name for that now. And I've always been a believer in hard work. I've never believed anybody owed me anything. And my dad wasn't around, so I had to make do. So it's do or die.
Wow, how is that? Those principles served you now? Like, what do you feel like success has brought you because of what you had to go through?
I feel that in about 20 seconds I have to go. I feel that, I know I can make it no matter what. I'm going to land on my feet. So I have that kind of mindset. So
wow.
I'm grateful.
You're going to accomplish anything you want in life. That's amazing. I'm excited to see it unfold.
Excellent job, round one, Brad. So Brad, what's present for you, brother?
Well, I mean, she's an incredible human being. Like, that's like, we all take for granted what we've had to go through to get to where we are. And it's always inspiring to hear really powerful stories of people going through difficult circumstances and turning that into a gift and a beacon of light for others. Really inspiring. It's really cool.
Awesome. Thank you. So, Vivian, how about this? One word for Deepak was just like I say, the Deepak Real Raw, one word, the Brad Real Raw so far, one word. What would the word be for Deepak?
Smooth.
Brad?
Caring.
Awesome. So, quick feedback, Brad. Fantastic job. You, like Deepak, were definitely following the formula. I would say one access point was beautiful. By the way, beautiful listening. Let me acknowledge both of you are listening. I would say shorter questions, Brad. Sometimes when you're like, hey, so you came from the Dominican Republic and grew up there and had all these things and you overcame and yeah, what was all that like, right? Versus, hey, Vivian, like growing up in the Dominican Republic, you say you're poor. What was that like?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like just a shorter and then da-da-da-da-da. Wow. And then what? Or why? Like just short, it just keeps the flow just going a little bit tighter. That's all. So great job, Brad. Yep. So now we move into the amazing judges. So here's how we do it. Request, maybe Jim Kirkus, if you'd lead us off. We go one word. That's the first word that's present for you about Deepak, then Brad, right? And then what's two sentences for Deepak on the positive side, two sentences on the growth opportunity and the score. Jim, what do you got, brother?
Okay, so I also had smooth for Deepak. I liked his style, and it was simple and direct.
Wow. And how did it feel? How does it feel, by the way, Jim, to be back as a judge after being a contestant?
Well, no, I feel it actually. So I learned so much from my contest. The only thing is, I never found out whether I won or not. No one ever told me
Jim,
how I did from a judge standpoint.
Listen to this. Listen, you won. Don't tell Eric, but you won. We're going to be moving into the shh, don't tell him. Don't tell him. We're moving into the influence off soon, and you will be back, brother, because you were dropping mic. Phenomenal. So the influence offs, we pushed it back a couple weeks because we wanted to really be sorted and ready for the nightly, weekly influence off. Have all the compilations ready. So this is coming to drop the mic level. We're going to literally, guys, just so you know, we're going to have 200 for June, 250 plus people that'll be going through Real Raws a week. That's the goal for each week of June, 1,000 folks going through Real Raws. So we have a whole expanded format, the influencer of 2020, all kinds of things coming down the pike. So we're all fired up and excited. So yeah, so Jim, please continue, sir.
Yeah. So my two sentences of critique, if you will, was that I felt like on the positive side, I liked the questions about the physical nature of what was driving Sean, Vivian, and so all those particular questions brought that out. I felt like you could have went someplace else along with the physical side. You had a lot of questions on the physical side, and I felt like you could have branched that out to really find out what made Sean tick outside of his physical nature, coming from his athletic start, and what were the other attributes around his physical well-being that led to his motivation well-being, his mental well-being, and that aspect of it.
Cool. And so what'd you have for Deepak as a score, Jim?
So I had 8 for Deepak as a score.
Okay, and one word and a couple sentences each way for Brad and score.
And for Brad was authentic, which I felt like was really good. And I think Vivian, when you said he was caring, I think that was right next to that. I thought Brad was very authentic. It was genuine in his approach and asking about your upbringing, and you could see he was genuinely motivated and enlightened by your past and what motivated you in your past to bring you forward. And I thought that, if we're talking about the strength of integrity-based, selling, and the authenticity was really important. So I really liked Brad's authenticity when it came to his questioning.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, and score for Brad?
And I had 8. So I had an 8 and a plus for Brad. I had Brad just slightly ahead of that round.
So give me an exact number, Jim.
9.
Whoa. Okay. Right, so 9. You got Brad Himel, right? So Dennis Rodman, a little bit of getting this. So Eric, what do you got, brother?
All right, so I thought Deepak was very energetic. He definitely had some good background knowledge ahead of time, which I think is definitely good to get to know your subject. His questions weren't quite as open-ended, so the questions were a little bit on the leading side, using some of the background. So I think if he did a little bit of upfront listening, some of that listening could have gone towards perhaps getting the person that he was interviewing to kind of open up a little bit more. Total score was 7 I had on that one. For Brad, the one word was calming for me. His questions really allowed to dig a little deeper, and he based it on some of her initial responses. So I thought that was pretty positive, and I gave him an overall score of 8.
All right, very good. Thanks, Eric. Scott, what do you got, bro?
With Deepak, the one word that I've got was prepared. He seemed to be very highly prepared for the conversation. He was using leading questions, and he was future pacing. Towards the very end of the call, he knew the call was about to end, and he said, okay, if I got 20 seconds, I'm going to grab whatever I can grab this last 20 seconds. And I knew he was doing some future pacing there to get some additional needs analysis done. So I thought that was a beautiful move. The identification of history. The one thing I think there was an opportunity with Deepak was more getting to know you. I think that Deepak knew all about Sean's athletic history, but if this was the goal was to get rapport, I think there was maybe an opportunity to gather more rapport beyond the scope of just the physical fitness and exercise. What does Sean really care about? What's important to Sean really beyond just the physical fitness, but again, highly prepared. And he did ask, what are the consequences? So he's trying to get some additional, when time was getting short, he went for any additional needs analysis stuff towards the end. I thought that was a beautiful move by him. I gave him an overall score of 9 on that.
Wow. And Scott, beautiful feedback, brother. That is masterful assessments. Thank you.
Thanks.
So, yeah.
And on Brad, the conversation there was entirely different. and there was good. Somebody earlier mentioned, one of the other judges mentioned good early questions. And one of the things that Brad did masterfully that I thought was he didn't have to say very much because Vivian was on a roll. And one of the best things he did was shut up. He let her roll with the conversation, and he probably only said maybe 30 words the entire conversation. And that 80-20 rule, the customer is supposed to be doing all the talking. I think Brad did a great job there of doing effective listening. The one thing with Brad that I saw slightly different, just different personalities, is the overall energy of Brad was a little bit less than Deepak. And I think that if there's one opportunity for Brad in that back and forth, was his subject was bouncing off the walls. Vivi's energy was sky high there. And maybe he could have matched and mirrored just a little bit more towards Vivian's energy, and it might have got him an extra 30 seconds because she was hell-bent, I got to go. And, man, if he would have had a little bit more matching and mirroring on her energy level, might have got an extra 30 or 40 seconds of initial rapport.
Awesome.
And I gave Brad an overall 8 there, but both guys did a great job.
Right. So we have a dog fight, ladies and gentlemen, going in around two.
Hey, can I ask Jim for a favor, Sean?
Yes.
Hey, Jim, don't post this on the internet. Thanks.
Why not?
I'm totally kidding.
That is interesting, right? So, we'll see what happens in round 2 now. So let me jump in real quick, let's go with the Deepak version of things, and let me jump in that seat as Deepak talking to Sean, who is Vivian. So, hey, Sean, great to see you. Like all kinds of craziness going on. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Yeah. Where does all the energy come from? Like, is that who you are? Like, when did that begin?
It's always been inside of me. I mean, there are so many things I want to get done. And so I find the energy when I go get my mind, set up. I go to events. I have people that are around me that I'm extremely passionate about. My son is pure inspiration. My family, I have a beautiful girlfriend, and I'm in a great place in my life, but I have a team that depends on me.
No, that's extraordinary. And that comes across as this deep, like resonating passion with all the things going on. And as you're growing up, we've heard, different stories about sports and leadership. What kind of leader were you in the sports world? Like high energy, like now? And how does that compare to like how you function now?
Well, I had a coach who definitely kept drilling in me the possibility of things. And there were times when I thought I would give up, and then I realized that I had to work for it, and I made it happen. And my parents didn't let me get away with it either. So my nanny was also there for me. So I've always been, whether I wanted to or not, I discovered early on that I discovered in me that in order to lead, I had to do what I needed to do.
Yeah, thanks. And I just want to acknowledge your discussions, your grandparents, Nani, Grandma Rose. It touches my heart. And it's so beautiful that you honor their memory. And I also hear you talk about honoring their memory and your overall mission, this idea of legacy and, where it all goes. And just a question, and I've also heard you share that during this Corona time, I know you're speaking like crazy, that you're feeling a little drained, with it. And where do you see your energy level, like fitting into this mission? Like, how does that work out into the future for you?
Wow, I want to duplicate myself. That's why I'm doing Unblinded, so that people can become, help me out in this whole process. It's exhausting. I'm not so sure that I have a complete answer for that.
Yeah, and I'm resonating, hearing that exhaustion. And like, how are you though? Like, how are you feeling day to day?
It's a struggle. I mean, I wake up early, and I have like at least 5 engagements before 9 o'clock in the morning. And that's just till 9. I'm probably up till midnight, up till 11 o'clock last night. So it's always a chase.
I'm hearing a lot going on, and I am very present to how important that energy is, not only for you, but for everybody in this mission. So would it be okay if I shared a little bit about myself?
Please.
Yeah. Deepak, feel that or no?
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah. So
The heart
what's
connection. What's present for me is the heart connection and really kind of diving in down the tree of where she started, and then the next one where she goes, and then diving in a little bit deeper, and then carrying that through. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah. And if you could hear my tone, I know you're a genius in the space. My tonality, once we matched, my tonality took Vivian with me into authentically revealing that she's tired, right? That she's a little exhausted. And that's the space that you want to solve for and support, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So tonally, we could take people there with the tonal. So it's like, hey, this is great. Your energy. It's like, yeah, like, but how are you? Like, as you move into it, it's like really people are going to follow that lead with the questions, provided they trust that we're there connecting in love. So I just want to support. So you did a beautiful job, just a couple of minor distinctions, and boom, you're right there in 3 minutes. Vivian's ready to, like, she's connected to the fact, like, yeah, it's present. Like, this is going to be a challenge for me to get where I want to go with my energy level. And then in your second round, that now you bring in how you can solve for that problem. Good?
Love it. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So we have round 2 though, Deepak.
Yeah.
Where are you? You want to go first or second?
I will go second.
Now, I am not confused, and Deepak is playing the game like a champ, right? So, right. So, Brad, we have a dogfight going on here, brother. And round 2 is about now you sharing your heroic, unique identity and/or your products, services, heroic, unique identity into a yes of agreement formation. That's what the judges are listening for. And Brad, are you ready?
So, say the rule one more time?
Yep. So, and you have 3 minutes. So you got, cut off a little bit. You could finish, you could do whatever you want, but what will be scored on in this round is how well you deliver your identity into solving your products or services identity into solving whatever pain you exposed from Vivian. If you don't feel like you've gotten there enough, you could do it quickly in this 3 minutes as well to eventually get to a yes for whatever the yes that's relevant to you. Good?
Okay, good.
How we're scoring. So Vivian, you ready?
I was born ready.
And please take us in.
Got to keep up with that energy. So obviously your story has completely inspired me. I'd love to go into a little bit more detail. Like what do you feel like your superpower is? Where do you see your future? Where do you see the impact that you can have on this planet and people?
Wow. That's loaded. I think that I think that that I would like for people to take a lot of chances on their dreams, like I am. It doesn't matter how old you are. So I hope that people can take a tear sheet from me, and in some way, and say, if she can do it, and if the people she brings can do it, then we can do this, and we can do it together. So that's the ultimate goal.
You could be an inspiration for a lot of people.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's incredible because we are building at Love One, Love All, an ambassador program, and it's unique because we're finding ways for people to make extra money from home during the COVID crisis. But what we're really looking for is people exactly like you that have come from places they should not have made it out of, yet have decided that they have to live an inspiring life, and they have to give back to people that really, really need it, and they have to be an inspiration for others. And even more importantly, we're looking for people that have stories to tell, because your story is the key to unlocking someone else's prison. And you can unlock a lot of people's prisons that are at home suffering in isolation right now. So we're looking for people to join our mission and tell their story and help us build a database of inspiring content that for people that are isolated and in suffering, so that we can unlock them from that prison. And we need people just like you. And it'd be amazing to have you on board.
I have to get into a call in about less than a minute right now. But Why are you passionate about this?
So I witnessed probably the most painful thing I've ever been through in my life was walking into Mayo Clinic and my dad barely clinging to life because he had taken 125 pills and didn't think he had anything to live for. My hero, the person I loved the most, didn't feel like he had anything to live for. So that was the saddest day of my life, but that led me to meeting Sean Callagy, who led me to David Dean, who bought my dad a ticket to Date with Destiny. When he should have been dead, he took 125 pills, like I said. So what happened next was nothing short of a miracle. Within 3 hours at Date with Destiny, I'm on stage with my dad and Tony Robbins doing a full-blown intervention. And the stories of people telling me that I was literally thinking of killing myself before this event. Thank you, you saved my life. I hadn't talked to my dad in 6 months, 16 years. Shaun White, the snowboarder, was like, I haven't talked to my dad in 10 years. And I went outside right after that intervention and called my dad. I was like, I love you, Dad. And that to me was firsthand proof that if you have the courage to get up and tell your story, you can change so many people's lives and help so many people. That's our mission. That's our goal. That's what we're going to do. And it's going to happen. It's going to be challenging. And we need more and more and more people just like you that have those stories that can be inspiration for other people in the world that really need it.
Thank you.
Very nice job, Brad. What's present for you, Brad?
It's a little dramatic.
Okay, right. I thought you did a beautiful job, brother. I mean, that's all real.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And Vivian, present for you.
I wish, obviously, it's funny because I didn't know that. And then as he was telling the story, I feel like I was there at that Date with Destiny. And I think I remember you on the stage. I think, and so I'm floored by your story. In a way, I wish you had led with that because I'm already dramatic. I already feel all these things. So I wouldn't have mind hearing it, but I didn't stop the clock because I couldn't stop listening. So I was riveted.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
That's
very
awesome. Thank you.
Very, very nice stuff. I'd say fantastic job. I would perhaps always in agreement formation, we want to make sure we're tightening, seeking the yes in the time frame that we have. So that might be an access, but in terms of heroic, unique identity, I think it was a fantastic job. Very congruent, tonality, fantastic. So really beautiful job, Brad.
Thank you.
Yeah. Deepak, you ready?
I am ready. Vivian, you got to clean the slate.
Tell me about it. Okay, hold on. Thank you for that.
So 3 minutes, Vivian, 3 minutes, take us in.
Okay, ready.
Hey, Sean. Thanks for telling me about, your legacy and how important that is to you and that your energy kind of drives all of this. I appreciate you connecting with me and telling me that. Can I share a little bit about myself?
Please.
So first I'm going to introduce a couple of guys. So these two guys, Tony Robbins and The Rock. So pop quiz. What do these three guys, this guy, and me have in common? I'll give you a hint. We're not all billionaires yet. So the answer is that we all have the same masterful world-class personal trainer. His name is Billy Beck. So I hired Billy and I went through his program. I got in the best shape of my life. And it was amazing. I honor him for that. I thank him for that. I text him every once in a while and I'm like, thanks, brother. It's truly, truly amazing. The challenge that I had was those workouts were an hour and a half a day. And it's like 6 days a week, an hour and a half a day. It was eating up a lot of time. And I'm like getting into all these different businesses and everything. So then I got introduced to this new device that was going to revolutionize working out. And I was blown away. So it's like, what if I told you that I found something that could replace a 90-minute workout in only 10 minutes and be more effective?
Get out of town.
Exactly. What if I also told you that for the world-class athletes like Tom Brady, Gronk, the Miami Heat are using this. What if I also told you that it fits in a backpack?
What?
And you only need a 2 foot by 2 foot square to make it happen. And here's the kicker. This is what's going to transform everything. This is why you are going to care. You can do this with your eyes closed.
Oh my God, this is so great. I got about a minute though. I got to go. This is fascinating.
So I want you to let that land. You can do this with your eyes closed.
It's a good thing because I'm blind. So
Exactly. So you're an investor, right? So we've invested in the same company. Would you invest an hour with me if I could give you a 40,000% return on your time?
all right, sign me up.
And get you in the best shape of your life,
Now you're talking.
and lead a charge to completely change how the blind approaches fitness.
I'm sold. And
What
your
day
time is
works
up.
for you?
Very nice, Deepak. Deepak, there's some prep work into that, brother. That is awesome, bro. How'd that feel, Deepak?
It felt good. I felt good.
Yeah, love the rhythm, love the questions, love the build. Like that was really, really a beautiful job. Vivian, what's
Thank
present for you?
He is so badass. I'm still laughing. I love the joy and the humor. I love you in the center with these two huge guys next to you, because he has the pictures of these two guys behind him. He has Tony Robbins with his hands up in the air. It looks like the Incredible Hulk. And then The Rock has all his bicep muscles bulging through. And it's like, and then there's you in the middle of these two guys. And you're not a billionaire and you're not in their shape either, but I loved every second of it. It's just
Wait. Come on.
There you
Give
go.
it a little bit. Give it a little bit.
Cool. You may not be a billionaire, but like, let's go easy there, Vivian. That is, and yeah, love the comparisons, Deepak. The question, you took it. What you did so masterfully is you had such beautiful contrast, created such curiosity through really cool and unique questions, creates datomas all over the place. So loved it. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, so let's drop in and let's see what we got. Let's start this time and let's go reverse order. Scott, what say you?
I'm gonna start right where we're at right here. And you gave a fantastic, irresistible offer. If I can give you this and I can give you this and 40,000% return, I'm over here saying I can't wait to see what the hell's in this damn backpack. 2 by 2, you know, maybe, and then the last thing that you did was you made it more than about Sean, and you know your subject and that he's a giver and a contributor, and you made the product, the solution, so to speak. You mentioned at the very end, you said, and it would meet your mission and help other blind people. That was your close. Like if all this isn't good enough for him to sign up, then at least I know I can get him to close because it's tying to his mission. And that was one of the best irresistible offers / closes I've heard in quite some time. It was fantastic. Solid 10.
Boom, 10. That is the first 10 ever on a Real Raw roll.
Go Deepak. Deepak.
Thank you.
Yeah. And for Mr. Himel, Scott.
For Brad, the tie-in to the mission of unlocking people's prisons, the link to pain, the consequences of bringing that in. I also agree with somebody mentioned earlier about bringing in your compelling story, your story brand, so to speak, in the about your dad and the 125 pills and that negative experience of turning that negative experience into a very positive, life-driven mission to bring in Vivian. I believe if that would have been done a little bit earlier, then I think it would have been more powerful. I think the message was solid. I think the sequence could have been a little bit better delivered. And then because of that, I would have given that one an 8.
All right, very nice. Excellent job, though. Seriously, this is some real great stuff. Scott, beautiful feedback. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Eric, what say you, my friend?
All right, so I'll do it in reverse order, and I'll start with Brad here. I definitely felt the authenticity. Towards the end, I could tell that the mission connected with his personal experiences. I was actually at the Date with Destiny when Big Marv was up on stage with him, so I got to witness it live and see the power and the connection. His delivery, I didn't feel the energy right off the bat. I felt like he needed opened up a little bit, and then once he actually got rolling, there was a little bit of connection. So I kind of agree on the sequencing was a little different than I would have, if he had the chance to do it again, maybe changing the sequencing. But I felt once he actually got rolling, I really felt that authenticity and connected with his personal experiences.
Awesome. And what'd you have, Eric?
So I gave him an 8.
Okay. And for Deepak?
For Deepak, so I love the humor. I think the Tony Robbins and having The Rock up on the screen, it definitely added some authority. It added some celebrity. So I think people recognize that, and it almost gave him some automatic personal authority. I thought he delivered it with passion. Like, he had her laughing. Again, that great message. I think one of the things that he did very well is once he secured some buy-in at the end, he had a number of follow-ups, and he had increasing energy with each additional follow-up to make sure that he first got to that yes, and I felt that close, but then there were 2 more yeses after he got the initial close. So definitely think that he was extremely strong from that standpoint. Only feedback that I would have is the celebrities did get a little distracting towards the end as he was delivering his personal message. So maybe you pop that on at the beginning, and then once you actually get to what you're connecting to, maybe you pull that down. But I gave him a 9.5.
Whoa, dropping the mic. Excellent job. Thank you, Eric. And the Rocky Balboa of business development, like the shining, unstoppable, irrepressible, constantly coming forward, Jim Kirkos. What do you got, sir?
All right, I'm going to start with Brad also. So my one word for Brad was vulnerable, and that's a great quality in it that followed up your round 1 with authenticity. And I thought the sequencing was good. I would have also liked to have seen a little bit more energy to match your passion of your story. I thought that would have been good. And my only comment is, while I think you got Vivian to yes, you didn't ask for it. It left it open, right? You didn't specifically ask for, do I have you? It was almost an assumption. And so I thought if there was something you could have done differently, was to actually get her to yes on that. And so I gave Brad an 8 on that round. And then with Deepak, my single word was hooked. You had Vivian hooked from 8 seconds in, and you got it to yes. That was definitely masterful at the way you took through. I loved the pictures of The Rock and Tony Robbins and where you took her. And at the end, it was really powerful. I mean, you got it to yes, and she gave you multiple yeses. So I learned a lot from you just now. So thank you very much. That was awesome. And I also gave you a 10 on that round.
Boom. Look at that. 2 10s. So Brad, you know what? I'm present too. Do you remember Reggie Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Deepak just pulled a Reggie Miller. Like, dude, he just came out and got on fire. It was like raining threes, like nonstop raining threes, like against the Knicks or against like the Pistons back in the day, where just like the dude went on fire. The audience is like he can't be stopped, and like all of a sudden things are happening. So there wasn't a lot of rebounds to grab because the guys raining all over the court. It's like, what is happening? No, you did an amazing job, Brad. Deepak, congratulations, fantastic job, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah. So quick rundown. Scott, if you had like, somebody's like, oh, I heard this Real Raw thing. Should I go in as a judge? You had like 30 seconds to share. What's present for you?
Absolutely. Thanks, first of all, it's been an honor to be on the call today. the experience that I would share with other people would be the opportunity to learn and grow at the level where any influencers need to gain additional skills. I think that there's a lot of people out there that want the education. I think this format allows us to all be vulnerable, get a little bit in our uncomfortable zone, and learn and grow together. I think it's fantastic.
Well, Scott, thank you. And I mean this with all my heart. I listen deeply. The sharpness of your influencing mastery, training, distinctions was fantastic. And love to have you back someday, sitting in Brad and Deepak seats if you ever want to. You did a great job, brother.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank
Thanks.
you. So Eric, how about yourself? Somebody's like, hey, should you go on the Real Raw? And you just came in as a beautiful alternate judge late in the day. We had an issue. What would you say to people about judging?
I thought this was a great experience. I actually personally learned quite a bit just watching you guys. I think we're in a whole different kind of world now, and unfortunately Zoom conferences and things like that may be the reality for the next year or two. And I think it's a new beginning and a new way to present yourself in this day and age. And so I think just getting on and getting to see people not only practice but excel in their delivery is just an incredibly powerful thing. And so thank you guys for allowing me to join you today, and definitely would highly recommend this.
No, well, you did a beautiful job. And watching Deepak and Brad were two tremendously skilled people, of great integrity. Was a lot of fun for me as well. And experiencing you and getting to meet you, Eric. Thank you. Jim Kirkos, what say you? Somebody's like, all right, there's this thing, whatever. Jim, what would you tell people about whether or not they should judge?
Listen, so this is the experience of first being a contestant and then being a judge today. And I probably have a good number of years on everybody in the room here today. But I can tell you that I am, my affiliation with Unblinded and the Real Raw is really helping me. I'm at a moment in time where helping businesses get through this crisis. I'm dealing with the difficulties of businesses every day, and getting them to think about what the new normal is. The timing of everything that you're teaching and people are learning, and the experience of this could not be at a better point in time for me to become a better leader and teacher of this. And so I'm honored to be here. I've learned as much today as a judge as I did when I was a contestant. So I can only say thank you.
No. Jim, thank you, brother. And the Meadowlands, it's a beautiful thing for all those beautiful business owners and leaders, but those 1,300 plus folks and businesses, are truly, truly blessed to have you. So great job.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Sean, that although I hated the judges' scores, I loved, they gave phenomenal feedback. So thank you to all the judges.
No, awesome, Brad. And Brad, let me thank you for your beautiful, generous gift of bottles of wine to me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. I want to acknowledge that publicly. Thank you.
Is that a little bribery I hear? What's going on?
So yeah, it was crazy. And so Brad, for you, if somebody's like, hey, contestant on the Real Raw, what would you share?
It's a platform to convey your superhero power, like who you are, what you stand for, what your mission is, and then how to refine that story, how to make the story better, how to convince more people. Because if you don't, then you're robbing people of the passion or mission that you're on, which they really need to experience. So it's a phenomenal platform to speak up and say who you really are.
Brad, I was so deeply touched by your delivery of your heroic, unique identity, the incredible vulnerability, and the story about your dad that has now become, in certain circles, legendary. And thank you for that. And we have lots more to do together, brother, and really appreciate your time today.
Wouldn't happen without you.
No, thank you.
Thanks,
Deepak,
Sean.
yeah, thank you, brother. Deepak taking us home. Somebody's like, hey, should I go on the Real Raw?
Look, if you're trying to do something big in this world and you're not willing to get vulnerable, which is what I loved about Brad and like the way he was talking, he was so vulnerable. I was drawn in to it. It's amazing. But in like the levels of mastery, like the more people you want to impact, the more mastery you must have. And like coming on the Real Raw, it forces you to move up the levels. Like you have to. And it puts you in a really vulnerable state because I know this is being broadcast around the world, right? So if you can get past that fear, I feel like the judges, they were awesome. Thank you so much for the feedback. I grew tremendously because, hey, I'm gonna be real. I was anxious before this. Like, you ask my wife, I'm like, hey, how does this sound? How does this sound? All right, yeah, all right. How does this sound? But now that it's all gone, it's all gone through it, man, I feel amazing. And I just thank you again for everyone for this opportunity. It was truly extraordinary.
Yeah. And Deepak, for real, you're the first person to get a 10. You not only got 1 10, you got 2, and you were behind after round 1. So what a beautiful job of truly with the lights on, and you made some bold claims and having some fun beforehand, which I love. And brother, you were just like, seriously, ice water in your veins, loving your heart, dropping threes from all over the place. That was really drop the mic and truly masterful. So congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Great job, Deepak.
On behalf of Deepak, Brad, Eric, Jim, and Scott, and of course, Vivian dropping the mic all over the place, sending her incredible energy. Thank you all. This is Unblinded Real Raw Roleplay. Happy Fun Friday. Have a beautiful and blessed weekend. Thanks.